Welcome to this explainer of the Daily Stoic. Now, the Daily Stoic is definitely not your typical calmness book. Actually, the Daily Stoic is more like a customs gate. When we look at the Daily Stoic, it really asks for just one thing. It asks, who commands your next minute? See, authors Ryan Holiday and Stephen Hanselman, they don't sell escape in this book. Ryan Holiday and Stephen Hanselman are actually staging a daily court. You walk in with your excuses and you leave with a ruling. And here is the harsh reality exposed right out of the gate. You are not losing to chaos. You are obeying it. Yeah, you heard me right. You're actually losing to a permission slip that you just keep handing out. A text message arrives, somebody's face changes, a meeting slides completely sideways, and you say, well, the day did this to me. But this book says, absolutely not. Your trained reflex did it first.
We almost always think it's this grand battle of control versus chaos. But here's the thing. A habit isn't just repeated behavior, right? It is delegated authority. The real split we need to look at is command versus consent. You literally cannot command the unpredictable, uncontrollable market out there. But you can absolutely command the signature you add to it. So you've got to ask yourself, who actually signed the order inside you?
Section 1. The false calm. Command under pressure.
So look, most people pick up a daily page just to, feel a little guided. But reading it merely to feel better, that just creates this highly polished mask of wisdom. Like we just said, a habit is delegated authority. This whole performance of composure can actually block honest contact with reality. It's like a Roman watchfire, right? It's meant to guard the city, but if it's left unchecked, it ends up burning down the granary. That old wound likes to call itself discipline. Stoicism can so easily become just another weapon to hide behind. And this book makes that hidden weapon completely visible to us. Section 2. The belief eats itself. The mechanics of reflex. Let's really slow down here for a second, because your reflex has a very specific hidden mechanism. This book brilliantly dissects the exact architecture of reaction. Step 1, the event strikes. Step 2, the judgment, or, the meaning you personally attach to it, appears. And then step 3, the act, where your body just obeys. Now, you can't always alter that event in step 1, but you absolutely must learn to catch the judgment step before it turns into a permanent ruling. That is literally the entire practice. I know what you might be thinking right now. I already know Stoicism. Stay calm, control what I can, ignore the noise. I wish this weren't true, and I know that sounds perfectly wise. But let's look at where it actually leads. If calm is your only goal, you're just going to fake being calm. If control is your absolute god, you're going to hate limits. The belief completely eats itself, leading straight to what is basically emotional taxidermy. Sure, a dead thing looks perfectly composed, but it isn't alive, is it?
So we're left staring down this very real, very heavy dilemma. Stay soft and the world dents you. Get hard and you dent yourself. I want you to just sit with the weight of that for a second. Because both of these choices, they're equally bad. Both of them just leave you rigid, brittle, and privately completely exhausted. You face these two paths, and neither one actually wins the day.
But here is the resolution to that exact dilemma. Both of those flawed choices are actually symptoms of the exact same misunderstanding, and that is performance. It's treating the world as if it is the sculptor. We end up prioritizing this performance of our composure over making genuine contact with reality. True Stoic practice, in this book, is about taking that chisel back into your own hands.
Section 3. The fracture teaches. Unenthroned desires. Just imagine a cracked marble bust sitting out under the pouring rain. The real anchor of this practice isn't the smooth, untouched marble, it's actually the fracture itself. The fracture is your teacher. Now hear this phrase. A wise person should need less. Man, it sounds so noble, doesn't it? But honestly, it so often hides this profound pride. Needless attention, needless help, needless tenderness. When you do that, the practice just devolves into starvation with Latin margins. You're completely starving out any genuine human connection. Food, praise, safety, status, revenge. Look, Stoicism does not erase these hungers, it ranks them. Every single one of these desires asks for a crown. So the practice is putting each desire on trial to see who actually deserves the throne today. You have to make it name its cost, make it name its master. You were not asked to be stone. You were asked to stop kneeling to the weather. This is exactly what shows the critical difference between numb indifference and unenthroned observation. Stone has no fear, sure, but it also has no mercy. You accept what comes, but you absolutely fundamentally refuse the inner collapse.
Section 4. Contact, not performance. The cost of the mask.
Wearing that mask we call wisdom has an incredibly heavy cost. This is exactly where self-sabotage stops looking like chaos and starts looking like perfectly maintained standards. You withdraw because you think you value peace, right? But someone near you definitely feels the chill of that withdrawal. It brings us to this trap. Tell the truth and risk losing control, or stay composed and keep betraying the truth. Both of these are behavioral traps when control just means maintaining an image. Remember, truth is not a tantrum, and composure is definitely not a coffin. The absolutely crucial point here is demanding a switch from performance to actual contact. These 3 questions are your clean, daily unit of execution. What is here? What is mine? And what is next? Not some grand, heroic identity, just one clean unit. This gives the day a cutting board where your choices actually become visible to you.
And that brings us to this brilliant realization. You did not get a hard day. You granted the day a throne. The initial mistake was never about feeling the emotion. The mistake was the abdication of your command. Some small irritation becomes law, and you just handed over your command without a fight.
Section 5. The signed minute. The daily unit.
Now it's time to deep dive the philosophy. The true gift of this entire practice in this book is realizing that an internal command without a signature can always be revoked. You have the power to inspect that signature before the day turns. So tonight, I want you to choose one recurring trigger, not the big public one, but that small private wound that just keeps hiring you. Write down the event, the meaning, and the act. Then, cross out the meaning you inherited and replace it with the meaning you will consciously sign. Choose the wound cleanly. This is not self-improvement theater. This is civic work inside the skull. A person who simply stops worshiping their first reactions becomes so much harder to govern through fear. This is the decision. Make it now. If not now, not ever. When the screen goes black, do not reach for the throne.